What's going on? Hutheads, it's Joe the Hut from Joebba's Palace. Here with another action figure stream for you. Tonight is a review night, so we're going to be looking at, I believe, 7 different action figures that we need to open and review, and then get them shipped off to the people who purchased them and allowed us to review them first. So, thank you, mostly Avi. Yeah, so if you have not been here before, once again, this is Joe the Hut from Joebba's Palace. We're currently live on Whatnot, YouTube, Twitch, a bunch of different platforms. If you guys are after anything, we do have hundreds of action figures available. We have some shows next weekend, so I didn't fully restock the office, but if you guys are after anything, just let me know. We do action figures, we do Funko Pops, we do Star Wars Unlimited cards. We'll probably do a little Pokemon soon, just because we have some shows coming up for them. So if anybody's after anything, give me a shout. It's at Joebba's Palace everywhere. But like I said, tonight is a review night, so we get to have a little alternate programming here. So for our first review of the night, it'll be our only GIJoe figure of the night, but it's one that we've been waiting a while to look at. Then it is the retro Cobra Commander from GIJoe Classified. So let's get him opened up and take a look and see what we like about him. In the chat, feel free to share your thoughts on this figure or any of the other GIJoe figures, or just cool stuff that you're interested in right now. I mean, Star Wars Celebration is going on, so there's lots to talk about. Daredevil just ended. I actually have not watched it yet, so please don't spoil it. But yeah, lots of cool stuff going on in the action figure community. So yeah, here's the back of the card, by the way. So it had Stalker and then the Cobra Trooper. And it had the profile for Cobra Commander right there. Alright, here's your little stand. It is not labeled, just a basic Cobra stand. Here he is in his little tray with all of his accessories. Get the accessories out. Decent amount of accessories in here, a lot of hands. Alright, let's take a look at the accessories and then we'll take a look at Cobra Commander himself. He is dope though. Alright, so like I said, we have the stand with the Cobra logo on it. Let me just peg his feet right in. Let's do one for now, since we're going to take him off in a minute. He's got 3 sets of hands. So he has a pointing hand, I'm going to call it a beg for mercy hand. It's not exactly a C grip. He's got 2 fisted hands. And he's got the hands that are on him, which is a trigger finger. Actually, they're both trigger fingers. Here's the knife. And here is his backpack. Very reminiscent of the old figure. And then here is his gun. His little handgun. Does have like a little red cross on it there. And like I said, you can holster this in the backpack, which is nice. Alright. Like I said, decent amount of accessories. He can holster his knife. Oop. Oh, that's a little annoying. Can holster his knife right there, but the holster does slide up and down. So that'll be maybe among the complaints. We'll see how annoying that gets. Alright, take a look at the figure himself. So this is the Retro Cobra Commander. Definitely liking the mask with the foil wrap. It's got the white stripe on the top of the helmet. Cobra logo here. I do love the undershirt that you can see, like the light blue undershirt here is really cool. It like really pops. The white stripe here with his little, I assume like a communicator or something. Got the belt with the red arrow pointing up. Here's the back. Peg for his backpack and his straps. And then you can see the holster on the back. Little pockets. Oops, sorry. Little pockets there. Here are his shoes. Not much to them. Pretty much just regular, almost like wolfery type shoes. The sides of his pants kind of like go down past the shoe though. So I guess it's like a wraparound type thing. They didn't wrap it completely around. But interesting look there. Very military-like look. Yeah. So the aesthetic so far, just overall, looks really good. It's such a classic-looking Cobra Commander. They did a really good job of bringing that to life. You know, we've had a couple different Cobra Commanders in this line. Snake Supreme, obviously the Once a Man one. And then the original one they did it was a much more darker blue. So it's nice to have this nice light blue. And we had the Regal. There's been a bunch of them. And then we're going to have the Armored one coming up, which just went up for pre-order. So if anybody's after that, actually, we always share affiliate links for pre-orders. So give us a follow on Instagram. And if you need a link for that, it'll be right there for you. Or shoot me a DM and I can let you know. Alright, so pegging this backpack in. There's still a little separation there. I just don't want to push it too hard because I don't want to break or bend the peg there. That'll be good enough. That's fine. Might help with articulation to have it separated back a little bit. Yeah. Alright, let's do a little articulation segment with him. So, look up is okay. Of course, he does have this helmet on, so it is going to stop you from looking all the way up, of course. Down. And he does have that separate neck piece to go along with his head, so it does give you that extra, like, little bit of range of articulation there. As you can see that they're moving independently of each other there. Here is the arm going up. Totally fine. Bicep swivel. It's a regular bicep, which we gotta crack that a little bit to get to our double jointed. Hold on, let me do this off screen so I don't break it. Damn, that is stuck. The other side better. We got it. Just didn't want to do it at a weird angle there. Alright, so there's the double bicep. right there. He does have a wrist swivel. And obviously the hands will have different articulation depending on where it is. Bicep. Sorry. Butterfly joints here. Been a minute. Been a minute since we reviewed a figure. Lean forward. Lean back. Nice satisfying crack there. He has the waist. Drop down hips, as we've come to accustom from GIJoe. He's got the upper thigh right there. The double knees right there. Look at that. Very nice. Oh, and he does have a swivel above the ankle. There. What up, Bobby? And then he's got the feet and some ankle pivot there. Alright, so good articulation here. Now I want to mix up some hands and get him into some interesting Cobra Commander-like poses. I will say, the most annoying thing is definitely this holster here. It should just be glued in place. I don't know why they went with an independent holster. We've had this issue in the past with, like, Cyclops, even though he just had, like, the little yellow things there. So, definitely something to consider in the future. Or maybe if you want to make that modification yourself, I would maybe just glue these. Alright, I want the... let's see. Well, the left hand has to be the right hand has to be the point, so we're going to do that. I mix up hands on Fridays too. There you go. Gotta have the point. Give me the gun. The interesting thing is that they gave him the trigger finger, which, I mean, of course it still looks good because it's a trigger finger, but there's like there's no loop here on that gun. Alright, let's see if we want to use the stand. Just for like a normal pose. There he is. There's a nice shot of him. Yes, the blow dryer gun. If he had hair, he would be blow drying his hair for sure. Yeah, I mean, it is a gorgeous looking figure. The blue just like, it just pops so much. Like I said, I love the undershirt, the mix of the whites and the blues. Yeah, the chrome wrapped mask. Just so cool. So cool. And honestly, the articulation is very impressive. Cobra Commander! Of course, I do my worst Cobra Commander when we're doing the review. You can't do this to me! What up, monkey? How you doing, bud? There he is there. Alright, we'll maybe do a little more posing when we start mixing it up and showing different figures, I guess. Yeah, I will be at ToyCon, yes. I will be at ToyCon. You have a booth? It's not as raspy as I want it to be. GIJoe! It's a combination of me not wanting to be too loud, but you gotta hit that, like, it's me, Cobra Commander! You can't do this to me! There we go. We got there. We got there in the end, guys. Well, the same person that did the voice of Starscream did the voice of Cobra Commander, so that, my friend, is a compliment. They're pretty much the same voice. Alright, let's get him back here. We might need to reframe, actually, because 6-inch, a little bit taller. Let's move the camera up. Since we're going to be in the 6-inch realm for most of the night. Alright, like I said, not going to go crazy on the posing. We have a lot of figures to go through tonight. That's impossible. I'll short circuit if I do that. Avi, is there anything in that pile that I sent you that you don't want me to open? For instance, this Boba Fett? Everything can be opened. Okay. That's good. I'm thinking maybe we'll start with the Micro Galaxy ship, though. Alright, moving on to our second review of the night. This is going to be the Fang fighter from The Mandalorian. Such a cool looking ship. Also, very similar color scheme to the Cobra Commander that we just did. Alright, so first let's look at our little fleet commander. I personally, with the figures that come with these micro galaxy ships, I like to leave them in this and like display them alongside it. So I'm not going to take this guy out of here. But there's a look at the fleet commander that it comes with. Decent paint scheme, you know, it's very small, so you can tell like on the helmet maybe the paint is like a little much, like the line is not completely straight. But just, you know, that stuff is tough to paint. I don't know if any of you have ever done Warhammer. I have not, but that's the toughest and most fun part of Warhammer is what I hear. Here's the Fang fighter in the tray. Let's get it out of here. Okay, let's see. Let's find some landing gear. Hold on. Alright. Here's the Fang fighter. This is probably going to be quick because I don't know how much you can do with this. As far as articulation points, in this bit? Oh, maybe these go up? There we go. That's what it is. You can see the engine. So the engine cover's open on this one. Get a good look at that. That's pretty dope. You love the detail on these. So cool. And they're just such a nice like size for like having it on your desk or just doing a little display. Like I said, the landing gear is here. There's actually another piece of landing gear here. Hold on. Wait, one. There we go. So that'll help it lay flat on the desk like so. Yeah, loving the paint scheme on this, loving the little details. It's got the two turrets here. Cockpit looks dope. Let's open the cockpit. You always got to be careful when you first open these. There we go. My suggestion would be to, while you're opening this, maybe give it like a pull while you're doing it, like towards you, so that it doesn't like snap, because there is like kind of like a awkward area there where it wants to catch. But there's the cockpit where you would put your Mandalorian pilot. Plenty of cool detail in there. Yeah. I guess I just love the look of these, and the Fang Fighter is such a dope looking ship. That's sick. Very nice. Yeah, so if you guys are interested in Micro Galaxy Squadron, we do have a lot of Micro Galaxy Squadron in stock. We actually just got the Hera B-Wing in stock. We'll throw up for you guys. If anybody's after that one, I'll show it on the other camera. Here's the Hera B-Wing. Here's a nice look at that. Even on display over here. Anybody who might be interested. Black and sexy Jamie Foxx, but that's okay. Okay. 2 down. Alright, let's stick with Star Wars. So we're going to do a few Star Wars in a row here, and then we'll round it out with Marvel. Alright, so this is the vintage comic art Boba Fett. They did such a cool job with this card and the deco on this figure. We should have one more of these available if anybody's interested. Tanchi, it's more of a review night tonight. Most of my classified stuff is put away for the show we're working next weekend. But if there's something specific that you're after, just let me know and I'll see if I can dig it out for you. But we were just trying to get through some reviews. We just did the Retro Cobra Commander review. There's plenty of Joes available. This is what we're concentrating on tonight. If there's something specific that you're after, just shoot me a DM though. Alright, hello. Let me see. The Mad Marauders 2-pack. I don't think we have that. What, this one, the Luke and Leia? This one? Or the Obi-Wan and Concept Vader? The Luke? Yeah. This shit's sick. That shit's dope. Somebody asked earlier and I said 70. But feel free to DM me on that, Prof. Also, Prof, I sent you some information for ToyCon New Jersey, which is next week. So if there's any other... Oh, you already got back to me, though. You said you wanted dwarfs, right? If you think of anything else, let me know. But I'll be on the hunt for stuff. Alright, continuing along with this vintage collection Boba Fett. Him opened up. We'll take one more quick look at the card. Really nice executed card. This was a Target exclusive. Then here's the back of the card. Pretty much just a regular back. He's like such a... It's almost like a Christmas edition of Boba Fett, but it really is just because in this comic that's what he looked like. Really cool. I'm loving the purple blaster, by the way. You guys know how much I love purple. We did... We dyed eggs with the nieces the other day, and I just left mine in the purple thing and let it be as purple as possible. I'm going to do a Grimace egg. Here is his little blaster. Get him out here. Here's the jetpack with his slightly off-kilter rocket there. Maybe we can bend that into place properly. That's funny. And then here is the Boba Fett. God, I love vintage collection. Just love 3 3/4 inch Star Wars. There's a little bit more light on him. That's just such a cool looking figure. I love like just the mix of colors on this is so cool. Like it's got the really distinct orange, the baby blue, the white, the red green Christmas combo, and then just random purple in there. Just really cool. And then it's got the soft goods. We'll call it a shawl. Call it a shawl there. I'll point you towards some Legends on this top camera. It's more of a review night tonight, but we do have some Legends available, as always. We got that new Maximum Spidey, we got Electro, we got Rom, we got Professor Sex over there. Yes, I'm just loving the color combo on this. That's so sick. Damn, Avi, you're making me want to open one for myself. There he is with the jetpack on. We got to do a two-handed blaster, right? Do we have a holster? It does not appear that he has a holster, but I'm sure we can find a place for the gun. Not on his leg right now. Alright, we'll just... Can we sneak it in here? I don't even want to push it. Alright, whatever. It's fine. I want to go two-handed blaster, though. Open his hands up a little bit. Like when he's in Jabba's palace and Leia pulls out the thermal detonator, that pose. God damn, I forgot how bad I am at this. There we go. Now, obviously it's a typical vintage collection figure. We don't need to go too crazy on the articulation. Just wanted to get him in a cool pose, and really, this figure is all about the deco. We've seen this Boba Fett figure before. Deco, how easy is it to stand? How cool does the gun look? All that stuff. So, there that is. Alright, slide him back, get him next to, and then good comparison here. Here he is next to a 3 3/4 inch scale Jabba the Hutt. So he's there protecting Jabba. Okay, we can move on to a Black Series figure now and get back into 6-inch scale. I will ask quickly. Anybody interested in any of the figures up here? Wave my finger over here. I'll point you guys at Star Wars again, since most of the stuff is going to be Star Wars. Like I said, we have a ton of stuff available. We're just currently set up to do reviews tonight, so I'm trying to concentrate on that. Get as much stuff done as possible. We still have 5 more figures to get through. Any Clone Wars 2009 to 2013? I'm going to say no at the moment. How much on Bubo? Is that a typo? Which Bubo? What's a Bubo? Is that a Boba question? I got Sebulba. That could be a question. Anything on this camera is not for sale. It's already sold and we're just reviewing it. Anything on the top camera is for sale. Just so you know. Yeah, nothing on that Clone Wars stuff at the moment. And just let me know who Bubo is. I assume you meant Boba or Sebulba. Boba is sold. And then Bubo is Bubo. Oh, I'm so sorry, dude. I'm so sorry. That's one of those, like... He actually is just a display piece. He's a personal. Shakti is 40. 40 for Shakti. Not too crazy, but we gotta make some money on them. 40 for Shakti. Shout anything else out. I'll try to do a combo deal for you. Some guy has been asking for him the last 30 shows, the last one he needs. Yeah, no, I'm not... If it's like this, and this are the figures that are reviewed tonight, anybody else is just like background, like display stuff. Alright, let's get to the next figure. Alright, so we're going to switch over to Black Series, and we're going to do this Elon Musk figure. Some people call him Grand Admiral Thrawn. We're calling him Elon Musk. So I was very happy that they let the Lars Mikkelsen Shakti and Hera's B-Wing. What was the price on Hera's B-Wing? 1 second. I'm in GIJoe with it. So Hera's B-Wing is 70. And Shakti is 40. I can knock 5 off of that and do 105 for the pair. So 105 for Hera's B-Wing and Shakti. Let me know if you're interested in that, and I'll put a bundle together for you. So 105 for that pair at the moment. All good, Thomas. All good. Elon Tusk looking real sharp. Now let's get the Elon. He has one accessory. And it is this little blaster. But the galaxy is his accessory for real. Alright. Take a look at his frumpy. He did need a little hollow pad. Take a look at his frumpy pants. Frumpy self. There he is, and it definitely has the likeness, because I remember when we all first saw him, he's looking a little chonky, and I think they nailed the chonkiness with this. I don't think it was intentional, but he does have a little booter belly there. Here's a good look at the Elon Musk likeness. The eyes really pop on that. Once you get extra light on it. His slicked back hair. He's got all of his rank pins and stuff there. The gold shoulder pad's always a nice touch. The big high-waisted belt. Pants all the way up to the sky. No Build-A-Figure pieces tonight. We do have them, but we're not doing them tonight. Feel free to shoot me a DM with the ones that you're looking for, okay, David? He does definitely have a gut. Do you mean the real person? In the show? Like, it's weird because he has this whole, like, upper piece and stuff, but it definitely makes it look like he has a gut. But even here, you look like this piece gets, like, bigger. Definitely a little gut going on there. The other one didn't. I don't think the other one had like this texture. There's like almost like a texturing to this that I feel like is different. And this is a soft piece right here. And then it's got his big frumpy pants, which is definitely its own mold. Very baggy. Interesting. The boots. Always love the boots. Yeah. Here's another look at the back. Alright, let's get a little articulation segment going. I don't think it's going to blow us away, but... Oh, he does have the individual neck and head. So, a little GIJoe articulation piece there, making its way here. There's a look up, there's a look down. Oh, let me do that again. There's your look up. There's your look down. Okay, obviously we can look all around. Shoulders. Like that. No butterfly. Elbow. And then the wrists. Nothing crazy going on there. You can actually unarticulate his arm that way. You can go the opposite direction with his arm there. Here's the waist. There is a crack in it. Oh no, I think we just uncracked it. No, there's a crack in the waist. Now, the legs are definitely going to get hindered here. He does have a little slit here, so it should help us do our splits. But as far as like our kick forward, I guess you could still do it. You could do his little goose step if you wanted to. There's the back one. The knee. No rotation up top. You can rotate at the knee, obviously. Nothing at the shin, and then regular articulation at the leg. So let's go with just a very simple, this holstered type thing. Let's do the Elon. There you go. That's Elon right there. Right next to his buddy. It all makes sense now. That is exactly what Elon would do if he was in front of this audience. Okay, Joe's got new 501st TVC. So, there is a new Rex and a new 501st here, if you want vintage collection. And then up top, over here, there's a bunch of clones here. There's a Phase 2, there's a Crosshair, there's a Camino, there's an Umbra, there's a Hunter, there's a Sev. I think that's another Umbra. Yeah, that's another Umbra. So there's all clones for Black Series over here, and then there's the ones that I just showed for vintage collection. There's also a Lieutenant from Ahsoka, if you want another version of like a 501st type clone. That's what's available at the moment. There's much more available. We're half packed for a show right now next week, so. Alright, so we got Elon done. Doing what he does. Alright, so now, interesting part of the show. So I have a combo that I want to do. Alright, yeah, we'll just do it. That's fine. I need my own mold. I'm actually going to open a personal figure right now. Unless if anybody really decides that they want it, but I am going to open it for the review anyway. I wanted to do these two together, so we're going to do back-to-back because the new Savage Opress is out. We sold the Savage Opress and we're allowed to review it. And then I restocked this Darth Maul because I wanted to make sure we had the ability to compare these two figures. Because they just deserve to be opened alongside each other. Because this is the version of Maul that was like ruling Mandalorian, running around with Savage Opress. Also, good timing for it because we just got the Maul animated series announced. And I assume for most of the series that this is what he's going to look like. So this is a good figure for people right now, for sure. So let's take a look at that. We'll take a look at the Savage Opress. And we'll get our Dathomirian boys rocking and rolling. So obviously we got two lightsabers as his accessories. Which should be fun to... I'm assuming that these can link together. There we go. So then they can link together. There's a better look at the hilt. No 70s or 80s Star Wars tonight, sorry. Alright, let's get Maul out here. Alright, here's a good look at this Darth Maul. Good job on the face for sure. Now we want to get old blurry. The belt looks really nice. Like the gauntlets, very cool. And the brown and black popping with the red skin, red and black skin. That's sick. 1 second. Stain. So, what are you looking for? Black series or 3 3/4 inch? Okay, so up here, there's all clones up here. So there's a Phase 2, there's a Crosshair, there's a Camino, there's an Umbra, there's a Hunter. Yeah, those. Oh, and there's a Sev, right? I think there's a Sev. Yeah, there's a Sev here as well. So if you look at this row, there's like all clones here. Let me know if you need me to pull any of them down. Yeah, let's do a little articulation thing. How much on the Clone Wars Anakin? The Anakin is the Ahsoka one. Just so you know. This one? I'll show it over here. This is the Anakin we have in stock. This one is 40. 40 for Anakin. Has the soft goods. Looking good. $40. Let me know if you want it for 40. Or if you see anything else, we can try to figure out a combo deal. Alright, continuing along with Maul. Yeah, it's just really cool looking. And then here's a look at the robo legs on him. Nice, like, dark silver on him. It's got, like, the darker parts to it. Really cool looking. There's the back. Alright, let's get into a little articulation on him, and then we'll give him his lightsaber. Here's the look up. Really good look up. There's nothing hindering his ability to look up, which makes sense. Here's your look down. Very good look down. We'll hit up the shoulders. Obviously, he has these little shoulder pads here. They're not really hindering the articulation that much. They do bend, but they're solid, so they're not like, they don't feel like they're gonna pop off or anything like that. There's no, oh, there actually is butterflies in here. Hold on, let me get more light on this. There actually are butterflies in there that you can use, which is nice. They're a little hidden, but they are there. They're like inside the joint. Here's your shoulder up. Here's your elbow. Wrist. All those fun items. They put the break in his robes here. Dude, They put a break in his robes here so that you can still do the waist swivel. The bend forward and back is not non-existent. I mean, you can kind of get there. Yeah, you can get there. You can do enough with that. It's a very thick piece here, though. But the fact that they put that break there does leave that open to you. For the legs, it does have a... Well, let's check out our splits there. Here's a nice kick forward for you, which is good because you're going to be kicking people with his robot legs. Kick back... Okay, he does have an upper thigh cut. And then for these legs, it's not, I guess it's two, it's really more of like a single joint there on those legs. There's two like articulation points though. He just can't bend like too far back. But that's to be expected because they're robot legs. You're not going to have him do like ridiculous stuff with the robot legs. Alright, and then there's the kick forward and the ankles. And there's still an ankle pivot there, even with the robo leg. Alright, let's get him in a nice wide stance here. That. That's nice. That fell right into place there. Alright, now let's get him holding his lightsaber. You can kind of move these shoulder pads forward and back so that they like are covering the joints. Alright. Honestly, I think the better move would be to unhook this, pop this on, put this side in, that on, and then connect them. I mean, widen his hand a little bit. There's a nice small pose. The only thing I'll say, and I think we mentioned it before, I got him pretty straight there, is that sometimes since it's two pieces, it's hard to keep those like so that they don't bend. But that looks pretty good. Looks like he's ready to attack. Very cool figure. For sure, that's why I wanted to make sure that we opened it next to our Savage Opress. Speaking of his brethren, let's get Savage Opress out here. Hold on, after we pick up everybody we just knocked over. We got Elon here. Get Boba Fett, we'll put him over here. We can back him up. Alright, here's going to be our Black Series Savage Opress. Take a look at him and we'll compare him to the Maul. Loving the accessories that came with this guy. The fact that he's got this awesome axe and then still a double-bladed lightsaber is dope as hell. So, as always, we'll get the accessories out here and then we'll take a look at the figure. Oh, I like this version of this lightsaber better, for sure. I think maybe I like the deco on the other one more, but I like the mechanics of it more. So, for this one, they did a center piece, and then each one of the blades pegs in like so. That's much better, because it's not going to be... This middle piece is one solid piece, and then those... I mean, I guess you would only be able to do a double... Oh, no, actually, you could choose to do one single blade this way or the other way. But you can't do separate single-bladed... but I don't... Does he ever use two separate single-bladed ones? I feel like he's either using that or he's using his axe. There is a Malgus over here. Santa Malgus is available if you want him. Put him back here. Always double for Savage. There you go. Yeah, so that makes sense. And the mechanics on that are definitely better. Here's a nice look at the axe. That's a nice silver there for the axe. Come on. Nice silver on that axe. That looks sick. And it's a big axe. Like, look how much bigger it is than Maul. Just the axe. Shakti is 40. She's 40. Savage is definitely on creatine. Alright, let's get Savage out of here. Take a look at him. Alright, here's a look at Savage. The face is amazing. It looks so good as like a realistic depiction, for sure. The horns are bigger than Maul's. It's the two horns in the back, that's sick. Shoulder pads look dope. There's some like airbrushing on there. That looks awesome. Hold on, the light's falling. Yeah, that's sick. The shoulder pads are nice and big. They do move, so they'll be able to get out of our way in the articulation segments. Lots of detailing on the armor. Really sick. As we work our way down, he's got the belt here. He's got the hilt here for the lightsaber. Sorry, not the hilt. The way to stow lightsaber. He's got the skirt here. So this piece is a plastic piece, but then he does have the soft goods skirt here, which is nice. And he's got really cool like shin pads on his boots, and the nice like bluish purpley design. Here's the back. Got like the shoulder blade pads there. Even just this like little like over his bicep piece of armor is really cool looking. Yeah, this is dope. They definitely knocked this one out of the park for sure. That's sick. Wow. Very impressive. That's amazing. All right, let's get a little articulation going, and then we'll get him in a cool pose. We'll try his accessories out. We'll stow his accessory, see how that goes. Here is the look up. Here's your look down. So once again, it has that separate neck piece that helps you with articulation. Obviously, you can look all around. Here's our shoulder. So we do have a butterfly joint here. In there. And once again, this shoulder pad, it's loose enough where it's going to get out of the way, but it's sturdy enough that it doesn't feel like it's going to fall off. There is not an articulation point above the bicep. That is missing there, which I believe Maul does have that. But you can rotate his arm up. And it is double jointed back here. Here's the hand, the sick clawed hand, which we didn't really pay attention to before. I would say maybe it would have been nice if they gave us some extra hands with him. Most of the time he's going to be doing two-handed attacks, though, I feel like. But it would be nice if we had something else. Work our way down. Okay, so we have like two different pieces here. So he has the upper waist here, which it doesn't really want to keep its pose. I feel like there might be a, like maybe crack that to the point where it'll keep the pose, but I think it's more for like up and down though. So that gives you like a little extra up and down there. And then combine that with the actual waist. You can go nice and up. And what you really want with him is you want that go down so he can look down on people. Your waist swivel is going to be right at the belt. Here's your split, which is decent considering the fact that he has this skirt here and he has very pretty big legs. He does not have drop down hips. He does not have a upper thigh cut. His knee, very smooth, the knees, for sure. It's like a nice rounded joint here that's very easy to articulate. Doesn't kick crazy back, but like I said, you just want to get him in a nice stable pose for a two-handed attack. Here's your kick forward, which is, ooh, nice. That goes up pretty high. It's a nice high kick right there. My grandfather had smooth knees too. Decent back. He does have a shin cut here. And then here's the ankle. All the stuff you'd expect from the ankle. Okay, very nice. So, interesting, because there's articulation missing in certain places, but really good articulation in others. So it's kind of a mixed bag, but I think it's got everything that you need for this specific character, which is, I assume, always what their aim is. So let's get, Maul already has the two-handed. I want to see how this looks holstered on him. Just like that. And I want to get this axe going, so give me axe. Let's get that slid back a little bit there. There we go. That is menacing and hulking right there. That is sick. Here he is next, Maul. That is a dope duo right there. This is all we wanted out of this review, is to put these two guys next to each other and show how dope. Maul, well, let me stand Maul up fully, because he was in a crouched pose. But yeah, he is taller, for sure. Let me get it. But he is like a head's length above him, for sure. Yeah, Maul does look like he lost his legs. So there's your size comparison. He pretty much is a head's length taller than him. But having these two next to each other is sick. Yeah, that's why it's awesome that we're doing these two tonight, because the Maul hype is real for sure right now. That is amazing. Gotta love it. All right, awesome stuff. I think that's all of our Black series for the night. We have a couple more figures to do. I'm gonna be playing with these guys. I might just open my own Savage just to keep the good times rolling. But I have until Tuesday, right? Because it's a holiday, so. Alright, we're gonna switch gears and do some Marvel stuff. Savage should do that. We showed the splits on Savage. That is sad. And I love the deco on his face. That deco is so nice. Love it. Alright, let's keep it rolling. We have two more figures. We have been firing through these, so we can do a little more of a hangout at the end and mess around with them some more. Our next figure that we have to review is Spider-Man Unlimited, so we're switching over to Marvel now. From figures that only come with two hands to figures that come with a lot of hands. Look at all these agents of evil. We haven't opened. This is the first good guy we're opening tonight. I mean, we know that Boba is anti-hero status, but pretty much all these guys started as bad guys. Elon Musk, the worst of all of them. Alright, first good guy tonight. One just wants to sell his Teslas in peace. I do not care about the stock market. I just want to sell the Tesla. There we go. Here's Spidey Unlimited. Alright, so we got crawling hands. And we got the whipping hands. And then you've got the fisted hand on him. Here's a look at Spider-Man Unlimited. So, very simple face. I do like the red they used here. The white really pops as well. There's like a... These, he has like bulging eyes, I want to say. That's the word I'm going to go for. This is yours, Avi. Avi. And they really did a good job of like molding in all this stuff. Like this spider is completely molded into his chest, which is dope as hell. This is just a really cool looking design for Spider-Man, and I think they nailed it here. Working our way down, obviously more of the blue and red aesthetic. We got the muscles popping. Loving these gauntlets here. I assume that these are web shooters, right? Like futuristic web shooters. The fact that they're like actual spiders is so cool. Let me get it isolated so you guys can see it better. There you go. That's sick. Here's the back. He has this. It is plastic. I would say that it would have been nice if I did soft goods here. But it is a plastic web cape here. And then they didn't stinge on the back. It does have the molded spider on the back as well. And then it does have molded spider legs on his legs, which is cool. Just a lot of extra like molding and stuff going on here for sure. Really cool stuff. All right, let's get to our articulation. So here's our look up. Here's our look down. Very nice for both. Obvious butterfly joints going on here. Spider-Man gotta have our butterfly joints. And then just all the articulation. Here's the arm up. He's got the elbow. He's got the double jointed elbow. The hand, yeah, that does have articulation here. There is like, I am assuming that you can take piece of this off. No, you can actually take this off if you wanted to. I wouldn't, but you could. The little spider web gauntlets. Alright. Here's your lean back and your lean forward. Very nice for both. He does have a waist swivel still. Splits. Not our best of the night, but not too bad. A little kick forward for you. A little kick back for you. Upper thigh cut. And then we got our knees here. Very nice. He can kick himself in the ass. He does have a shin cut here. He's got the regular ankle stuff. Alright. Okay, so the test with a Spidey that I do is... Gallows, what did you grab? Oh, you showed up and you got bronze here. Okay. What I would like to do is I would like to do a handstand with this guy. So give me crawling hands. Alright, let's see if we can get a handstand going. The hands are like a little too like rubbery almost from to support his weight. Like they want to give. There are not at the moment. Yeah, that's the problem I'm having here, is that his hands are very rubbery. I'm not sure why they switched the hands to be like that. Oh, well, we got it. Handstand Spidey, supporting his own weight. But I will say, I guarantee you if I go like this... Oh, no. Not falling yet. Shaking the table. Alright. Not bad. Alright, so a Spidey that you can do a handstand with is always a good Spidey. In my mind. Well, there it is. See if we can get him to slide back here and stay. Alright, I love the deco on this. I love the texturing and the molded parts. The gauntlets, the spider gauntlets are sick. They did a really good job of molding really cool aesthetic pieces throughout this figure for sure. The head is a little plain. It has the bulging eyes, but the color combination is really nice. I like the blue and the red combo that they went with. Very nice. Alright, it is main event time. The figure that we've all been waiting to give our thoughts to. So, we have the great opportunity to review the Maximum Spider-Man. So lock in, because we're gonna talk a lot about this figure. That's kind of why I was rushing through other figures, because this is the figure of the night. This is the thing that we need to spend most of our time with. I'm gonna lean him back over there. A lot of people want to know what this figure is like, so we're maybe like a week late, but that's fine. We still have it in a decent amount of time. It just came this week, so. Alright, this is Maximum Spidey, Maximum Series Spider-Man from Marvellegends. As you can see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 6 sets of hands, 3 heads, web accessories, web shooting accessories out of some of the hands, and a spider sense accessory. So let's see how easy it is to figure out how to use all these things. And he's got also web accessories over here. Yeah. A lot going on here. Let's take a look at Maximum Series Spidey. Here's the look at the back of the boxes. Alright, massive amount of accessories here. Oh, that's interesting that they did that like that. Okay. There's a stand too. So this is the stand for the shooting with whips. So pegs in there or there? The pegs in here. The thicker piece is the peg-in piece for that. We'll leave that to the side for now. We got our big web shield. I like the look of this, like the color on this, because it is translucent, but it has like a nice like weathering to it. That gray mixed with the white is really cool. Here is another just shooting accessory to go into somebody's face. Here's like a grabbing one. Here's our slings of web, or rope webs. It all has like very similar texture. This is a harder piece. It's still soft, but it is a little bit harder. The shield is a little bit harder, and then these other pieces. Oh, this piece is actually a lot harder, and the ropes are very, very. Like rubbery. There is the Spidey Sense accessory, which I assume we're just gonna put like as a tiara on his head. Get some of these hands out here. Here's some web shooting hands, which are glued on there, so you can't pop these off and like separate them with another thing, I don't think. Which is fine. That's what those hands are for. That's why they give you so many hands, so that you can just be like, this is what this hand is for. Got some thwipping hands. Got some C grips here. Here are the swappable heads. So here is the Peter Parker, which is the red-headed stepchild of this whole entire package here. I mean, his eyes are still... I guess when you're looking... I think it looks a little bit worse in the camera when I look at the camera view of it. But I still don't understand why they made his eyes so big. It's a very creepy look. So, there's that. And then here, he's doing his RFK right here. With his eyes are bulging out of his head. That's RFK Spider-Man. I don't know if he's like taking a shit. Like winky eye, winky face Spidey. Spidey himself out of here. There he is. I love the color blue that they chose for this. Amazing. So let's have him chill here right now. I want to mess with some of these accessories. First we'll do the Spidey Sense, which literally, like I said, it just whoops right onto his head. Just like that. And I mean, it looks good. It fits right on there. It doesn't stick out. It's clear. So I think it does the job. So that's good. It's better than having to like put putty or something on a piece that doesn't quite work correctly. I want to see... Like, how are we supposed to do this? Does this have a peg in it? Like, none of these have pegs in them. Another piece I'm missing. Oh, there's more hands over here, by the way. Here's the ungloved hands with just the web shooters. Here's the booby grab hands. We know which head we're going to use with those. Alright, so let's see. For this, I was thinking that there was supposed to be... Oh, I mean, I guess you could pop this in here. Do it like that. And then you get him into like a crouched pose. It's almost like I feel like I'm missing something here. You know what I also think that they should have done with this packaging? Is they should have done the thing where it shows the graphic of all the accessories. I know it would be a big thing for this figure, but I feel like that would have been helpful. Clip, right? Yeah. Alright. So, the stand for this, I don't really quite understand. I mean, I guess you could pop this in here too. I don't know. Seems a little weird. Like, I don't know how you would use it with this one. Because I don't think that there's a peg in this. Maybe they were instructions. Alright, whatever. I'm not that concerned about it. Alright, so that's that. Alright, we'll do the figure, and then we'll circle back and use the different accessories with him. I think that's the best way to do it. So let's get into the actual upgraded articulation here. And let's take a look at his deco and all that as well. Alright, so once again, like I said, really loving the... I mean, I like the body sculpt here. The fact that he's, like, kind of jacked up top, but then is very thin. That's the way that Spidey should be. So, like, aesthetically, it looks really nice. Like, his body type, for sure. The lines are not molded in, but it is a paint job that is like is like a textured paint job. Like, you can feel the pieces of the web when you like scroll your hand over it. So it does have like a layer to it. You just have to kind of touch it to feel it. The eyes are obviously molded in here. Very nice. The Spidey logo, such a classic look to that Spidey logo for sure. And I love this blue-red combination. This is like that 90s Spider-Man for sure. Yeah, it's going to have the drop-down hips. Here's a look at the back. That Spidey logo's sick. I like that. It's just such a nice, like, simple look. It's very nostalgic for sure. And I will say, in person, the blue is darker than what it looks like on the screen right now, at least for me. So, Maximum Series Spidey. Definitely loving the deco. Loving the look. It looks really cool. For sure. We'll get into articulation now. Here's our look up. Okay, so this is sick because obviously we got the neck here. But just it on the ball joint, right? Now, usually when we get this part in the ball joint, it wants to pop off, which actually this isn't even really like centered here. So there's like an extra like something there for sure. Like, look how much he's looking up. Usually when we do this, his head is popped off by now. How's the spider webs paint? That's what I was just saying. Like, I think there's a little bit of a thicker layer here on the forehead. But it doesn't look like anything is necessarily like that misaligned. It is like very much like working its way outward the way it should. So I'd just say like these lines are a little bit thicker here, but it doesn't look like off necessarily. Because I know that some people have had bad web lines, like maybe on the back of the neck there. But nothing is really jumping out to me on this sample. As far as like bad web lines that like stick out like a sore thumb. No, it doesn't look bad. I think people might have just gotten like a couple bad samples for sure. But they also got this figure out pretty quickly. Yeah, so the look up and then the look down is crazy. Like, he's looking into his own chest. That's awesome. And we'll get to our shoulders. So obviously we have ridiculous butterflies here. It's like you can see the butterfly in the back and in the front. Like, that's crazy. Look how much that closes. That's a lot of butterfly going on there. The arms, I will say, the arms don't go up that much. Oh, no. Oh, there's an extra pop there. Never mind. They do. There you go. So you can really do, like, the soaring web then. Yeah, so there's an extra pop here that I guess sometimes gets caught. I mean, I would look out for rub on that, but once you get past that point, you can pop them up. Very nice. And obviously we got our bicep. A lot of room on this bicep too. Like, it's freely moving. It's not going up against anything. Here is... We didn't even get to the double joint yet. Holy shit, hold on. There we go. Look at that. That's serious. That's some serious articulation right there. He does have a wrist here. And then let's see the hands. I want to see the hands, if we did any better with the hands. I mean, they move, for sure. So, I mean, just the upper body is sick. Here's the rotation above the waist. And then here's our, like, lean... Let's just leaning just with this piece, not using the lower waist. That's just that. And then there's the lean back with just that. And then we can add this. So we can totally do, like, a dropping in shot or, like, a lunging at somebody shot. And then there's all that together. Very nice. So there's no waist swivel down here. We're doing most of the swivel up here. We do have drop down hips, so that allows us to do a pretty good split. I actually was expecting a little bit more of a split out of this, but you still do a very nice split there. And then we pop the hips back up. There's our kick forward. Huge kick forward, big time kick forward. There's the kick back with the drop down hips. Really helps. And it doesn't angle out. I mean, it does angle outward, but it doesn't angle out too much that it looks so awkward. So that's nice. And then we got the upper thigh. Here's our knees. Big time knees going. Then here is our shin. We have our ankle here, ankle pivot, and then we do have toes as well. We have toes as well, so we can really, like, I'm thinking... Like, look at that. Look at how you can get his arms. Hold on. Like, they're all the way back here. Look at that arm. Ooh. So if we went like this and that, you can even, like, hide the joint this way. Look, you can literally have his arms tied behind his back. And it still looks good in the front because, like, the break is over here. The butterfly is, like, hiding that. It looks like he doesn't even have arms right now. That's sick. Look at that. This thing is nuts. I would say just be careful with the drop-down hips. Because once they're, like, dislocated, I feel like you're, like, literally hanging by a peg. Look at that. I mean, it was gonna fall eventually, but is it? No, it's hard. Like, all these pieces are hard. It's not gummy at all. Like, maybe this part, like the chins, maybe a little bit, but it really isn't. Like, it is. Like, it's like this is hard plastic. Okay. No, I think that's why they did increase the prices, because they wanted to use the best plastic. I think maybe there might be some spots, but not the main, like, structure of the figure for sure. All right, I think we're all very impressed with articulation for sure. Let's start messing around with some accessories. So first things first. Get this freak hand on here. Oh yeah, okay. So actually, for these, you have to pop the forearms off. So let's see how easy that is to do. Yeah, okay, so you pop the forearm off. Pop that in. Which that's easy actually. It's pretty easy.
Oh, I'm out of webs. I'm out of webs. Oh no, Aunt May, I'm out of webs. can't pay my bills and I'm out of webs.
So here's a look at the Peter Parker head sculpt on him. Like I said, it doesn't look as bad as we expected it to, but it definitely could have been better executed. I think that's the like big weakness. But what we need here is we need these back on. But that was a good idea to give you the like show you the things. Need gotta go creep mode, Spidey. Yeah, nightmare fuel face. Don't worry, we have a plan for this nightmare fuel face. Spider-Man where he gets his girl stolen by a background character. Top camera is things for sale. Let me point you guys back at the Star Wars stuff because there's more stuff over there. But it is review night, so we're just kind of enjoying some figures and doing reviews. And making Spider-Man goon right now. There he is. This version of Spidey.
Yeah, that's Gavin, Spidey. Gah.
I would say infinitely better. I mean, there's definitely more points of articulation. You can articulate it more in the spots where it has articulation. It has more accessories. I like the deco better. It is what it's supposed to be. For the price that it is and what it's advertised as, it is what it's supposed to be. The only problem with this figure is this Peter Parker head sculpt. Here's a look at the... I don't know. Get this whipping hand on here. Gooner Man. So here he is with the alternate head with the like eye clenched down. And then these pre-spiderweb shooting hands. Let's do the shield. Which we need C-grips for. Actually, we don't need C-grips for, but whatever, we'll do it anyway. We'll do this and we'll do the rope back to back. So here is the shield, which we just pop right onto the forearm. Ooh. Like so. So there's him with the shield, which it is cool. I do like the shield. And you could probably even use the shield as like a brace to do like a kick or something. Like he's like flipping with the shield and then goes into like a kick or something. I don't know. But yeah, I like the shield. Give me the rope. I mean, I guess you could have him like webbing somebody up. I mean, you could just hang this from something. Like, let's see. Hold on. Let me figure out a good way to do this. There is a thicker side to this rope on one of the sides, just so you guys know. Like, let's say we use this light up here, right? Oh, you guys can't even see that. Up there. Just have him hang from it. There was no exit strategy there. But you know, there's useful things to. The fact that he can support his own weight while C-gripping the rope is really all you need from the rope. The only piece that I'm tripped up on is the stand for the web accessory. Because the stand, there has to be another piece. Oh no, I'm an idiot. There is a hole here. Here we go. But then also, this isn't really, like, tall enough. I mean, I guess if you went... Got him in a crouch down pose. A proper crouch down pose, like that. Had him go this way. Go like this. Do this. Do that. Do this. Do that. Because he can get low. Line it up. Correctly. Too many things around here doesn't have a flat surface, right? So technically, yeah. If you were going to have him permanently set up like that, or you wanted to take some pictures, sure, why not? This one, I'm assuming they do want you to just, like, put it here or something. Like, because there are shorter parts of this whoop, like here, like we had it set up before, but then it'll droop a little bit. And I don't think that any of the other ones, like, I don't think you can swap this. Yeah, this is definitely good in there. I don't want to mess with that. Alright, so, amazing, as Spider-Man should be, right? We got him into some cool poses, we messed with the accessories, there's a lot of accessories here, they're all over the place right now. I think I like the fisted hand and the web shooting hand combo probably the most. And just the fact that you get him like in such a wide pose for sure. All right. That was fun. So that was our rundown of figures for the night. So we'll go through these and talk about each of them again. As far as ranking these, I'm gonna say in last is the Elon Musk Thrawn. Just because, I mean, it's fine, and it looks like the character, the likeness is good, the articulation is okay for what it is. But it's just nothing amazing, you know, it's nothing crazy to write home about. After that, I really like the ship. The Fang Fighter. It is a dope Fang Fighter ship. Love the colors. Love those ships in general. Not necessarily an action figure, so I'm going to put it down a couple pegs just because of that. I just like action figures a little bit more. And, you know, there are better ships in that line, but it is a cool ship overall. There's a lot of cool figures tonight, though, so can't really judge. After that, it's tough because I do really like the deco on the Boba Fett, but it is a repaint of that Boba Fett. So yeah, I'm going to say that the comic Boba Fett is the next one in line. I think it has the best, maybe the best deco of the night, but it is a repaint of Boba Fett. So that's the only reason that I would put it in third to last, which is not crazy, because we have, what do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 figures here. So, yes, there were 5 figures that I like more than it. But not really a big deal there. I would say in 5th place, I would put the probably the Spidey Unlimited. I really like the sculpted pieces on it and the aesthetic and the web shooters. Like, a lot of that stuff is just really, really nice. Very nice figure. A character that is underrepresented. So, can't complain about anything there. Yeah. Still a cool figure. Then I'm going to say the Cobra... do I want to say the Maul? Okay, I'll put Darth Maul next because it is kind of an older articulation scheme. I understand that they had to skimp on the leg articulation a little bit because it's the Robo Legs version, but it is a really good looking version of the character. I assume that we're going to get another Maul closer to when the show comes out. I don't know if it'll be more of like an animated series version, but there are a lot of Darth Mauls, but this is the one that you want for the Robo Legs. I do like it. It's a really cool looking figure for sure. But the thing that I was debating putting it over was the Retro Cobra Commander, and I just think that the Retro Cobra Commander has a more up-to-date articulation stream. And there's not too much of a difference in the accessories between those two figures. Plus it has the metal wrap chrome on its face, which is really well executed and just overall like a really nice looking figure for sure, that Retro Cobra Commander. So Retro Cobra Commander will be in third. Then, I mean, on any other night, this figure would have won. Then I would say the Savage Opress. He's awesome. He's hulking. He's huge. He has awesome accessories. He has great detailing on his armor. The face sculpt looks amazing. He looks really good next to Maul, which is really all you need from him. Yeah, just a really awesome looking figure. Just really cool stuff for sure. And then obviously number one is going to be our Maximum Spider-Man. I mean, the articulation scheme on this thing is unbelievable. And you guys know, like, if you've been watching streams in the past, sometimes I'll struggle. You know, I'm not the most professional of posers out there. But I was able to get him into really cool poses really quickly. I was able to use most of the accessories. Some of the accessories are a little bit confusing. I think this thing is just a little toss-in thing that don't necessarily need. But whatever, it's just extras. And there's so many hands. The weakness is the Peter Parker head sculpt. Oh, just to go back to the Cobra Commander. The weakness on the Cobra Commander is the holster for the knife that keeps sliding down. Obviously, when he's like this, it's not a big deal. But that was the thing that we struggled with the most. The weakness on the Darth Maul is the lightsaber bending. It's in a good pose right now, but this can bend because it's two separate pieces. I do like the way that they did the Savage Opress, where it is one solid piece, and then you can choose to do a single lightsaber or not. Yeah, and then, like I said, the only weakness that I was really seeing with the Spider-Man is the Peter Parker head sculpt. The web lines are nice on this version. I know that some people have had issues with web line paint on some of their versions, but this one is in really good shape, so nothing to complain about there. So overall, a really nice crop of figures. I'm happy we were able to bang out a bunch of figures tonight. And yeah, it's the Spider-Man. Was there ever any doubt that it was going to be that Spider-Man? Right? I think that it is. I mean, it's 50 plus tax at retail, so it's like 55. So not necessarily as expensive as imports, but it's getting up there. I think it was released at the right time, because if it's released post-tariff, then it would be even more expensive. But I think it's worth it if you want this to be... If that look of Spider-Man, that 90s McFarlane dark blue Spider-Man is your Spider-Man, then I think that you're going to be happy, and this can be your definitive Spider-Man. The articulation scheme is amazing. The aesthetic is really cool. The accessories are nice additions for sure. And yeah, I'm happy we got them for sure. A lot of people will complain that it's not worth the price. It is what it is. You know, if you're buying action figures at this point, if you're buying another Spider-Man that looks like this at this point, then you might as well have the best one. You know, if you're still buying Spider-Man up until this point, and you've been buying them for years, you'll know the difference, and you'll know why it's better and why it's worth the price of admission. So, you guys know better than that. So, that's what's going on with that. So, that was the figure roundup for the night. Just a reminder, we have a couple of these still in stock. We still have Savage Opress in stock. We still have Cobra Commander in stock. I have a Spider-Man Unlimited on stock, and I do have a Maximum Spidey in stock. So if anybody's interested in any of those, we will have them available for the rest of the stream, or if you want to shoot me a DM or any of that, that's cool as well. We have TwitCon New Jersey next week, so feel free to hit me up if you're going to come to that, or come stop by the booth and come see us. We're going to be doing shows, local shows, throughout the summer. Yeah, So, thanks everybody for hanging out. Appreciate you guys. That was a fun night of reviewing figures. We needed to catch up on a lot of figures, so I'm happy we were able to do it. And yeah, so just a reminder, this is Joe Hut from Joe's Palace. Give us a follow at Joe's Palace everywhere. Instagram, we're currently live on Whatnot, YouTube, Twitch, all those things. Yeah, so thanks for hanging out with us. Have a good one. Peace out.